Hello guys, welcome back to SWS Boxing. Delighted to be joined with Rod Julian. He's a boxing trainer, slash manager as well. And so firstly, should we talk about Sam Gilly? He's the English super welterweight champion, isn't he?
Yes, he is. Yes, he is. He's the current super English super welterweight champion. And yes, he's I think we're ranked about number 8 in the country right now. Probably should be a bit higher than better than that, probably like 4 or 5. Sam I've had since day dot from the amateurs. Worked with, he's like a son to me, so literally we've worked together from the amateurs and worked our way up right from small shows.
Did he win the English title against Drew Brown?
No. We if we go back for the English title we're talking about, he won that in Birmingham.
Against Valdez or someone.
Yeah, Valdez Casacas. That's correct.
He stopped him in I think it was round 4.
Yes, we stopped him with a body shot.
And then he fought Drew. That was a great scrap.
Yeah, that was probably one of the best fights you'll ever watch that weren't on TV. I think apart from the Conlon fight and Lee Wood fight, that would have got fight of the year.
Yeah, that was a great fight.
That was his first. We had a mandatory defence in Drew Brown.
He's a good fighter, Drew.
Drew is a really good fighter. I think he'd been inactive for a while. I mean, it was. We always knew the first 4 rounds were going to be tough, but he'd never really done the rounds or really had that sort of level of fighting.
Did you think that Drew was tiring out towards the later rounds?
Oh, 100%, which we knew he would do. We knew he'd probably come out quite strong in the early rounds, and we'd probably give away the first 2 or 3 rounds, but that was fine. And then you got to remember, he hasn't been in them deep waters, and when you got an inactive fighter that hasn't been in deep water, it does show, and you show levels, you know.
Sam before that fight, he went the distance. I think he fought that Danny Bull. Again, that was a good fight.
That was our one and only loss, to be fair to you. I mean, to be honest with you, it was a really weird scenario. It was probably our last fight we was going to have at welterweight. Because Sam's the biggest welterweight in the country, and obviously we was getting to the stage we knew it was coming to an end of welterweight. But you never really sometimes know until you're in that last fight, you know. But for us, it was the old situation.
Would you rematch like Danny, because he's fighting at the weight below for the English?
Not for us, because that was the weight below. We're now super welterweight now.
And he's happy at. Are you sticking?
He's a different
trying to get into like the British title mix with Josh Kelly, JJ Metcalf, and fight that Troy Williamson and the likes of them lot now?
Yeah, I mean, to be fair to you, I mean the fight we had with Danny Ball was in COVID, and that was a really weird scenario. No fans, locked in an hotel room, being COVID tested for 4 days, played a big element in that fight. Do you know what I mean? And we come back in the 2nd or 3rd round and said he was literally he was shattered, round 3, shattered, and we knew that. But obviously that was due to the COVID. But since Sam moved up to obviously super welter, he's a beast at that weight.
And he's been beating these, because he beat that Sean Robinson quite comfortably. I had him, and he got that knockdown as well.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, we all know each other, and I always knew the result of that fight. For Sean Robinson, I knew we'd beat him quite easy. And I pretty much was convinced Sam was going to stop him, but nobody obviously knew the week of the fight, Sam come down with a really, really bad flu. But we weren't going to pull out the fight. I knew he'd even beat Sean Robinson at probably 80%.
Do you think that because when Sam vacates it, obviously you've got Jordan DeJohn at that weight. Do you think maybe he could fight maybe Sean maybe in the future
Definitely.
for the English?
Yeah, definitely. That's a really good fight I'd like to see. It really is. There's some good fights. I mean, most of the fighters in the gym, what we try and do, we try and win the titles and pass them down through the camp as you move onwards and upwards. I mean, Sam will be fighting very, very soon. I can't say anything, but there'll be an announcement this week.
Okay, that's good. Because of course, you've got Jordan. He recently fought that Harry Scarf, didn't he?
That's correct. I mean, that was a funny one, to be fair to you. It was for the WBO European, and then a week before the fight, they didn't sanction it for whatever reason. Just one of them political long stories, young man. And then it was just a 10-rounder. We still took the fight. It was on Wasserman Channel 5. Then it was a real long wait to get out. We think we came out at 11:30 in the evening.
Yeah, I know. I stayed up to watch it.
11:30 in the evening we came out, and then as we walked out, it weren't a 10-rounder no more. It was an 8-rounder.
Yeah. I was confused because I thought you. Wait, so when you were walking to the ring, did you know it was 8 or?
Literally about 30 seconds prior.
That's a strange
30 seconds prior. Well, it is, because obviously it does throw plans up. It was all to do with time, like TV timing, and they were short of time because obviously no one expected Harlem Eubank to go the distance.
I thought he would
and we expected to be out.
Yeah,
we all did, and we were expected to be out about 10:15, 10:30, and we ended up walking out at 11:30 at night. I mean, which was, listen, there's no excuses. We lost by points on that night, which is the first loss we've had in the gym for a long, long time. And I don't really like losing, to be fair, but he'll come back better from that fight.
He because he's proven himself at area level. He beat Jack Martin and Kingsley Ebenike.
Yes, he did. Jordan came to me over a year and a half ago. Just over a year and a bit ago. He come to me at number 78 in the country, and I got him to number 10. So we've made leaps and bounds. I think Ryan Maycock we beat. He had a decent. You remember him? And then we fought obviously Kingsley. Kingsley, we fought him. Beat him. The Jack Martin was a great fight. It was a great fight to win the Southern area. Mm-hmm. And then we're waiting about now for another fight date to get Jordan up at that level, the English level.
Yeah. And
we've got a few big fights coming up in the gym at the moment. We've got Louis Horn out next weekend on the 22nd.
And Bo is on that card, isn't he?
Bo Reynolds Waldup is on that card as well. On the 22nd.
Bo, do you think that he'll rematch Tommy Jacobs since the head clash?
I would have loved him to have, but I've heard that Tommy Jacobs is retired now, whatever. But I would have loved that because Bo was warming up into a fight there, and he was pretty much he would have beat Tommy Jacobs definitely. And then obviously, so
what's the goal with Bo for this year?
I mean, for Bo this year, I need him to get. He's undefeated. But he's had 2 draws and 1 win, which is a funny old start to his career. But Bo didn't have the utmost decorated, an amateur background that some fighters are able to get. So Bo he's learning on the job. He's a good, tough southpaw, very awkward. So I think if we can get him another win next weekend
against Martin Shaw, is it?
Correct, yeah. He's someone who's going to come and have a go. He's a bit live. Give Bo a tough night, hopefully, and Bo can deal with that. And then we can move on to probably July for Bo, and then get him 5, 6, 7-0 by Christmas, and then next year push on to an area title.
That's fair enough. Of course, Louis Horn, he had his kind of his first 50-50 against another like a good opponent in I think it was Josh Nelson, and he managed to stop him in the first round.
Yeah, Louis Horn is an amazing talent that he's going to go a long way. He's fast.
Was the plan like to take Josh out in the first round?
To be honest, not in the first round. I mean, don't forget Josh Nelson is a good fighter. He's got good management. And I think they wanted to push him on, like right onto the big Queensberry shows. So I knew we'd get to him, but I thought it'd be about 3 or 4. But Louis Horn is probably one of the fastest fighters that you'll see at that weight. And he's going to be competing at super featherweight for titles. So
is he going down in weight?
Yeah, he makes this weight pretty easy, 61 and a half, like a lightweight. But yeah, it's sort of like, I think they rank him at super lightweight, but he's more like lightweight. But championship fights the day before we can make super feather.
Mm-hmm. But
and
yeah,
obviously,
so how many fights is he trying to have like for the rest of the year?
So he's 4-0 at the minute. He'll go 5-0 next weekend. Then he's out in June, 6-0. July, 7-0. He'll probably be fighting for an area title between his 7th and 8th fight.
Mm-hmm.
Because there ain't no English 50-50s that really want to fight him. Like as in like that level, I just think Louis Horn is going to be an absolutely major force in the boxing.
What about Harvey? Because I think he's at super flyweight and he's fighting him in 17th of June, isn't he?
That's correct. He's fighting.
And is the goal for him like to try and look for like the British or like an English or something?
I think for Harvey Horn, he's going to be competing at flyweight.
Mm-hmm.
He's got one fight on the 17th of June, just a nice 8-rounder, just to get him back in the flow, and then really Harvey Horn push him onto world level.
Oh, at flyweight.
Yeah.
Oh, that should be good. So would you say maybe like September time, try get a world title shot for him, or?
I think we're going to probably go to the British route first, and then because obviously at that weight things move very fast.
Yeah.
And you know what I mean? There's not as many competitors in the divisions, and Harvey Horn is a really high decorated fighter anyway.
So maybe that like the winner of that Jay Harris v Tommy Frank.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we'd love to fight the winner of that fight. I mean, that's
May.
Has a date been put on the Jay Harris fight yet? And Tommy Frank?
Think it's the 13th of May. I think.
Yes, we would love to fight the winner for the British title there, without a doubt. So yeah, I mean, it's definitely a fight Harvey wants, and a title he'd love to grab, and then before he moves on to the European and world honours. So yeah, like definitely.
Yeah. What about because Liam Dillon, you've got as well. His last fight, he won a Commonwealth title eliminator. So is the Commonwealth title next for him?
Yeah, I mean, well, no, the British title is next. Liam's mandatory for the British and the Commonwealth right now. So Liam is due to fight Kaz Asfak.
Yeah.
We're waiting for a day June. But that could be, obviously, we're due to fight for the Commonwealth as well. So if we could get both belts on the line for that one fight, that'd be amazing. But Liam's, going to be pushing hard. Is for the British and the Commonwealth next.
And he. So are you expecting him to like start fighting on the TV as well?
Yeah, I think Liam is definitely. I reckon his next fight will be a TV fight. He deserves it. He's an exciting fighter. He's done it the hard way.
Because he's done it through. He's gone through the southern area, then English, and then. So he's doing it.
He's a tough kid. The Wahab fight was a big fight and a big win for us at the gym. And we knew he'd win that fight because I think it was the right time to fight Wahab. End of the day, and obviously become mandatory for.
You're breaking up a little bit,
There's so many
mate.
options going on in it. Sorry, you there? Sorry, there's so many options going on in the gym at the minute around the British Commonwealth level, which is brilliant for the gym. So, yeah, we've got a couple of new prospects coming through. Great stable at the minute. Great stable.
Isn't Jeff fighting next week for the Southern area?
No, that fight's not on no more. Jeff is now fighting for the WBC in Dubai. It's like an international title against a Cuban fighter. I can't even pronounce his bloody name, to be fair to you, but that's going on in May next month.
Oh, that's good.
Frankie Arnold pulled out of that fight, so he's moved on to a WBC international title.
This is, I would say, this title will get his rankings up more than the Southern area.
Oh, definitely. Listen, there's more to gain from a WBC international title for world rankings than there is. No disrespect, Jeff's better than Southern area level, but he's at the age now. He has to take these chances. He's like 32 now.
Because he fought Mark Chamberlain on, how many notice was that?
Yeah, I think that some of the fights Jeff took was on short notice, and before he was with like Ross Pearce and myself. So before he had them fights, he really took them at too short notice. He wasn't prepared. The nutrition wasn't there. But in a minute, you'll see it. Jeff is probably the most awkward fighter I've ever known in my life. And it is a bloody nightmare for anyone. So, yeah, for him to go out to Dubai, next month. And listen, if anyone's got a great chance to beat the Cuban, he has.
Yeah. Also, who else is there? Oh, Boy Jones. He got a draw, didn't he, on the weekend?
Yeah, he boxed it on the Peacock show in Canning Town. Yeah, the guy was a tough guy. He was a tough guy. He gave him an hard night's work, to be fair.
I still thought that Boy did enough, though.
We personally, in the gym, we thought that he nicked it by worse ways around. But I think that when you fight on the ropes, sometimes I think that you it looks better in the eyes of referees. They look at things and it looks like you're losing the exchanges sometimes. Do you know what I mean? But we thought he won the fight, but
so
ended
is
up
the
being
plan for him to rematch that Mendoza or to push on?
No, he's pushing on. I think he's going to be having a Southern area title fight coming up next, Ben Jones. So this was just like a
pre. Is that against that Dennis Chidakayev?
Yeah. Yeah, so that is
what month do you think that could be in?
I don't know yet. I don't know, but it's definitely going to be his next fight, and it's going to be sooner rather than later. So at the minute, we've got a lot of title fights going on in the gym.
What's going on with Ryan Walker now? Is he's coming off 2 defeats?
Yeah, I mean, for Ryan, he's going to have a little rest up from boxing for a bit, and just decide what he wants to do. I wouldn't say Ryan's finished with the job, definitely not. But I think that coming back, I think his fights he's probably got to take is like the away fighter now.
He fought on the away corner twice against Jordan Perkis and Peter Merger now.
Yeah, definitely, and really and honestly, they're 2 fights he should have won really, and was disappointing because like he's a lot more experience than these guys. And
in the corner, did you have him up for those fights or
no? Let's go back. Jordan Perkis fight. No. He got caught cold in the first round, I remember. And then he pushed on. But to be fair, I think he lost it towards the end of that fight, and the recent fight. Oh God, what was his name?
Peter Merger. But
Yeah, Peter Merger.
he's beaten it, Peter, before, and now it's
I know.
1-1. Is there going to
It's a
be
weird
a
one.
trilogy for that one, maybe?
Do you know what? I think you find, Sam, at the minute that you don't really get a lot of. So at Southern area level, you don't really get a lot of returns, really, at Southern area level. You don't even really get a lot of people defending that Southern area no more. They like to push on from the Southern area unless it makes sense to keep them busy or there's nothing else to do or push on for, then yeah, then have a defence. But I think, I think really for someone like Peter, I think you'd rather prefer to push on. And that's what generally happens. It gives you more of a leg up, you know what I mean, to push on.
Yeah. Is there anyone that we haven't spoken about before we go?
I think we've got everyone pretty much covered in the gym. The young prospects are obviously they're coming through in the
What
next year.
prospects have you got? Like any people planning on turning pro, or?
I mean, the couple of prospects. Yeah, I mean, we've got like young Louis Ward, who's an amazing young fighter. He fights for Repton. He's won like 3 national titles. He's a great kid.
Do you
Obviously
think you'll
trains
be looking to turn him over pro anytime soon, or?
I think with a lot of these young amateurs, you've got to let them experience the full capacity of the experience they can get in the amateurs. So obviously, I think he's going to be in the elites next, and doing that. And I don't know about the Olympics because it's a funny one at the minute because obviously I think there's only one more Olympic Games. They're saying it's going to be left for boxing, so it's a bit of a shame. So it's going to make people push on a little bit faster than sit in GB or the Olympics. You know what I mean? But yeah, we've got a couple of other young prospects coming through, which they're really, really good. But I think they've got about another year or so before they're let out on the scene.
Fair enough.
Yeah, nothing coming no time soon. You know, obviously let them achieve their amateur goals first, and they're really doing well. Do you know what I mean? So
Yeah. What boxer, like, out of your pros, have you been working with the longest?
the longest would be Sam Gilly. So I've had him from the amateurs. So I've had him from his first ever pro fight. So that would be way back. I think Sam's turned pro with me at 21, and then he's 28 now.
Yeah.
So I
About
think
7 years.
I think that's been the proof in what we do in the gym. I've took him from winning nothing in the amateurs, 78 amateur fights. Obviously, he won a fair few of them, but not won no titles or nothing. And then turned pro and won a Southern area at welterweight. The English champion, defended it to 2 mandatories. He's got some really big fights coming. Obviously, boxing on Sky Sports now.
Is he signed with Boxer?
No, we ain't actually signed. It's a bit like the minute winner stays on scenario, Sam. You know what I mean? Until, but please God, after his next fight, that could happen. So, but he's on the right stage with the right promotions in the right, the right area right now of his career. Do you know what I mean? With obviously with TV. So the next few fights when he wins, obviously they'll be televised. So there's no bigger platform than probably Sky at the minute. So
yeah. I mean, fair enough. And thank you for your time, mate. And enjoy the rest of your day.
You're welcome, young man. All right. Have a great day.
And you, mate. Bye.
Bye. Bye. Bye.